Hey everyone, so as you probably know, on my channel I cover almost exclusively consumer devices with glasses-free 3D displays, and a lot of that has been 3D tablets so far. But the other day I actually was invited to go visit ACER's office in Tokyo to take a look at one of their glasses-free 3D laptop models called the ConceptD. And I was blown away. When I got to their office, they pulled out this laptop and they allowed me to get a hands-on with it, and I was incredibly impressed with how smooth it felt and just how different it felt viewing a 3D display inside a laptop versus in the form factor of a tablet or a little game console like the Nintendo 3DS. It was a different kind of experience from what I've had with other 3D devices. Not saying one is better than the other, but it was really interesting, and I'd like to just share some of my thoughts on what I noticed during my visit. So the first thing they showed me was a model viewer. They pulled up a model or two from Sketchfab and displayed it in 3D for me, and sitting in front of the laptop, it just felt very comfortable because I know the laptop is going to prop itself up. I can adjust the angle of the screen in front of me a little bit, and then on this 3D display, it was a 15-inch display, there is head tracking. So what I noticed right away is that probably more than any other 3D display I've used so far, the 3D model was floating quite a bit out in front of the display. It actually looked like it was floating in front of the display, and it felt comfortable. It didn't feel like there was a lot of blurring or crosstalk or anything going on. I really felt like it was incredibly smooth, and it was exciting to see that effect happening right in front of me, especially because it was on such a large display. It really takes the level of immersion up another notch having a larger screen size, which is something that was hard to really wrap my mind around until I actually tried it out, but I think it does. Although the display does have a little bit of pixelation or some sort of, there's like a tiny little dot texture pattern that is visible within the display, maybe because of the way their 3D technology works. But the moment I started to view things in 3D, completely didn't notice it, or it's really hard to notice, and everything was incredibly smooth and very beautiful. They showed off a number of different textures on the 3D models that they showed me, and they all looked very like shiny or clear, and there were different types of textures that were viewed in 3D that just came out so perfectly. This 3D model viewer is something I've seen before on other devices, but it was really awesome to see in a 3D laptop display. The second app that they showed off to me was a 2D to 3D conversion app. So it allows you to take your 2D photos you've taken on your phone and uploaded to your computer, can be converted seamlessly into 3D. The effect for those was okay. I mean, I think they have a ways to go with their 3D conversion technology. It's going to get better. It was good enough to at least make me want to try out a bunch of different 2D to 3D image conversions and things with the photos that I have, especially just to view them on a display of that size. So that was pretty cool, and it's possible for videos as well. After that, they allowed me to try out the 2D to 3D conversion of YouTube videos, which is something that I love about LeiaTube on the LumePad 2 and NubiaPad 3D. If you haven't checked out those videos on LeiaTube, it's by far one of the most amazing features I think that exists on the 3D tablets right now, and to see it on a 3D laptop was really cool. And I was actually really impressed by it. I think the quality was better than I expected it to be. ACER seems to be doing a good job developing their own 2D to 3D conversion technology. It's not quite at the same level as LeiaTube, but just being able to see it on a 15-inch display was really cool. The other thing that struck me about it was that it was so smooth. I think that there was just really essentially zero crosstalk or anything that I noticed when watching two videos that I converted. The first video I tried watching was the Apple Vision Pro announcement at the press conference, and when I started watching it in 3D after converting it, it only took a couple seconds. It felt like there wasn't really a lot of depth. It was a little hard to tell how good the conversion was. But then the ACER marketing manager helped me adjust the level of depth. So you can go into the settings and max out the level of depth, and it made a huge difference. Watching this thing at the full depth level looked really clean, and there was much more pronounced depth. So I realized watching it then, after adjusting it, it made me feel like, okay, this is totally worth it. It's really cool to see this in 3D versus just watching it in 2D. A much better experience on that 15-inch display. It was awesome. I tried watching a clip of anime doing the same thing, and I noticed that there were certain parts of the animation or parts of clips that are just kind of left flat. So it seems like the AI doesn't know what to do with it, and it doesn't really do anything at all. It just leaves it flat. But the other stuff, like geometrical objects like buildings and scenery and the characters, did pop quite a bit. And again, it just looked so clear and smooth. There was zero crosstalk from what I could detect, and it just had a really clear image that was in 3D and I would totally watch, TV shows or anime on that display if I had one. So the three main apps that they showed me were the model viewer, the image and video viewer and converter, and then the YouTube video 3D converter. You can also watch videos that are already formatted to the side-by-side format or 3D format videos on YouTube in 3D directly. Using just those three apps, there's already quite a bit that you can do with this 3D laptop, and I thought it was really cool. But what excited me the most was just having the opportunity to talk with them about their excitement about 3D technology and 3D products. Just hearing them talk about their commitment to developing out this ecosystem, 3D apps, making each app better, like doing improvements to the 3D conversion capabilities that they have right now, and not stopping with one single product, but continuing to iterate and put out new 3D display laptops as the market penetration expands. I could tell that they're excited about it. They think the technology is cool and they really believe that it is going to take off. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And they're not rushing it, but they have some good products that are already released and some that are about to release and others under development, I would suppose. So they've said that they're going to continue working on these 3D display products. So it's really exciting to me, and I can't wait to see all the amazing products and features that they put out in the future. Overall, my first impression of a 3D display laptop was better than I expected, and I had high expectations. So I think that says a lot. And if it's something that you're interested in, I think it's definitely worth looking into. There are going to be more and more of these 3D display laptops releasing over the next year or the next few years from multiple companies. So keep your eyes out for them. I'm going to be covering all of the news and information, as well as trying to get more hands-on with these devices and then purchase some of my own so I can do a whole series of reviews and videos showing you all the different things that can be done and experienced on these 3D laptops. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and if you're interested in more videos on consumer devices with 3D displays. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.